Hi everyone, welcome back to the episode 7 where we are going to be comparing the Mercedes Cabriolet, which is the new convertible in terms of owning, renting, and co-owning it. Now, as you can see these numbers below each of the segments, it means that owning a Mercedes Cabriolet is going to cost you 72,000 rupees per day, and renting it is going to cost you 35,000 rupees a day, and co-owning it is going to cost you only 7,000 rupees. So, if you want to understand how we came up with these numbers, then watch the video further. Before we get into the calculation bit, I'm going to introduce ourselves to you. We are the world's first fractional car ownership platform where you can own premium luxury and off-roading cars with nearby residents for your leisure and lifestyle purposes. We were established in 2022 and also got featured in Shark Tank Season 3 2024 and got the deal from Anupam Mittal and Piyush Bansal. Now, we are going to be comparing owning a Mercedes first. Before we get into calculation, we have a certain set of assumptions. We have 5 assumptions in this case. The first assumption being that this calculation is based on a 5-year timeline, which means you're going to be using this car for a period of 5 years and then selling it later. The second assumption is that you already have an existing car for your daily and primary usage. This is your second or your third car, which you're going to be using only occasionally. The third assumption is based off on the second one, that because this is an occasional car, you're going to be using it maximum 90 days in a year, which is roughly 3 months in a year. And the fourth assumption is that the resale value after 5 years is going to be roughly 50% of the on-road price of the car, and you'll get the resale value back. And your fifth assumption is that this calculation is based on the Mercedes Cabriolet CLE 300 AMG line model. Now let's get into the calculation bit of it. So the ex-showroom price of the Cabriolet is around 1 CR, and your insurance is roughly 4 lakhs, and your registration charges are 11 lakhs in this case. Now, registration charges vary from state to state. In this case, we have taken Gurgaon and Delhi to be the example. Your accessory charges are 9 lakh rupees and your other charges are 1 lakh rupees. Now, when we add all of these costs, we get a total on-road price of 1.3 crore rupees. Now, let's say because you're going to be using this car for 5 years, you take a loan for 5 years and you do a down payment of 20% of the on-road price of the car. So 20% of the on-road price is equal to 27 lakhs, and your remaining loan amount becomes 1.8 crores. Now, because you've taken this loan for 5 years, let's say your interest rate is 9%. So your total loan repayment amount becomes 1.3 crores. And your parking costs are usually 2,000 rupees in residential societies or elsewhere as well. So if you do this for a recurring period of 5 years, you're going to be paying 1.2 lakhs. And your remaining maintenance insurance for the rest of the 5 years is going to be 13 lakh rupees. So now when you add all of these costs, you get a total cost of 1.76 crores. Now let's calculate the resale value. So as we've mentioned earlier, that the resale value is going to be 50% of the on-road price of the car. So 50% of 1.3 crores is 67 lakhs, and your net cost after resale becomes 1.7 minus 67 lakhs, which gives you a total of 1.8 CRs. Now, in order to calculate your cost per day, let's look at the multiple usage scenarios that you have. Now, because this is your occasional car, let's say you use this car for 30 days per year. And over a period of 5 years, you use it for 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 150 days of usage. Now, let's say you use the car for more number of days, 60 days per year. Over a period of 5 years, 300 days, 1.8 CRs divided by 300 days gives you a total of 36,000 rupees per day. And let's say now your maximum requirement, 90 days per year, over a period of 5 years, 450 days. So 1.8 crores divided by 450 days gives you a total of 24,000 rupees. So now owning a Mercedes Cabriolet is only going to be beneficial for you if you're going to be using it for more than 300 days in a year. Because if you use it for only 30, 60, and 90 days, then it's going to be super, super expensive for you. Now, let's look at the second segment, which is renting a cabriolet. Now, before we get into the calculation bit, we have a certain set of assumptions. The first one being that the calculation is based on a 5-year timeline, which means you're going to be renting this car recurringly. Your second assumption is that we're assuming that a car worth 1.1 to 1.3 CR's rent is going to be 35,000 rupees for a 24-hour cycle. Your third assumption is that, again, your requirement for the car is maximum 90 days in a year. And your fourth assumption is that you're going to be getting this car without a driver and without fuel. So now that we've already established the per day cost to be 35,000 rupees, you don't have any maintenance, insurance, parking, or registration costs because you're only going to be renting the car. So now let's say again you use the car for only 30 days in a year for a period of 5 years, 150 days, your cost per day is 35,000. So your total rent paid for 5 years is going to be 52 lakhs 50,000. And if you use the car for 60 days per year, you're going to be paying 1.5 crores. And if you're going to be using this car for 90 days per year, you're going to be paying 1.5 crores, which is more than the on-road price of the car. So renting a cabriolet is only going to be beneficial for you if you have one occasion, one vacation, one event to attend to, which does not exceed 4 to 5 days of usage. Then renting a cabriolet would be profitable and would benefit you. If your usage is more than 15 days or more than 10 days in a year, then renting is a super expensive option for you. Plus it's going to be a used car, plus it's going to have a yellow number plate, so it's not even going to add a prestigious value to you. Now let's look at the third segment, which is co-owning a cabriolet. Now we have a certain set of assumptions for that too. First one being that again you're going to be using this car for a period of 5 years. The second one, that you already have an existing car for your daily usage. You're probably going to your office, grocery shopping, malls, etc., covered under your first car already. This is your second or your third car that you're going to be using occasionally. Your third requirement is based off on the second one, that your requirement for the car is maximum 90 days. And your fourth assumption is that the resale value after 5 years is 50% of the on-road price of the car. And the fifth one, that the calculation is based on the Cabriolet CLE 300 AMG line model. Now let's get into the calculation bit. So as we already know that the on-road price of the Cabriolet is 1.3 crores. Now what we Prorata does is divides one car into 12 tickets of ownership, like 12 months in a year, where one ticket gives you 1 month of ownership, which you can split across the year for a period of 5 years. And after 5 years, we resell the car through a bidding process where you can bid, your friends can bid, dealers, vendors can bid, and whatever is the maximum bid price, the car gets sold on that, and the resale value is given back to the co-owners. So now in this case, when you divide the on-road price 1.3 crores by 12 tickets of ownership, you get your price per ticket to be 11.2 lakh rupees. Apart from this, we take care of three major services. The first one being your periodic service and maintenance, like your windshield repairs, battery changes, cleaning, servicing is done by us. The second service is your insurance policy, which is bumper to bumper. So just in case any scratches, minor dents, accidents happen, we take care of them. The third one is your driver pick and drop service. Every time you reserve the car in the app, our driver comes to your doorstep, gives the car to you, and gives the car to you full tank. And you have to return it full tank. Now, when you do this for a recurring period of 5 years, you're going to be paying 1 lakh into 5, which gives you a total of 5 lakh rupees. Now, let's calculate the resale value. So, the resale value is 50% of the ticket size in this case. So, 50% of 11.2 lakhs gives you a total of 5.6 lakh rupees. So, your net cost after resale becomes 5 lakh 60,000 of the ticket size plus your 5 lakh rupees of your AMC cost, which gives you a total of 10.6 lakh rupees. Now, in order to calculate your cost per day, let's look at the usage scenarios again. Now, let's say you use the car for 30 days in a year, which gives you one ticket of ownership. Over a period of 5 years, 150 days. 10.6 lakhs divided by 150 days gives you a total of 7,000 rupees to be your cost per day. Now, let's say you're going to be using the car for more than 30 days in a year, 60 days per year, which is two tickets of ownership. So, 21.2 lakhs divided by 300 days of usage gives you 7,000 rupees. Now, your maximum requirement, 90 days per year, 3 tickets of ownership, 31 lakhs divided by 450 days gives you a total of 7,000 rupees. So, to sum it all up, if you own a cabriolet, you're going to be paying 72,000 rupees per day. If you rent one, you're going to be paying 35,000. And if you co-own one, you're going to be paying 7,000 rupees. So, owning a car, as I told you, will only be beneficial if your usage is more than 300 days. Because when your usage is more than 300 days in a year, then your cost per day in owning a cabriolet can actually boil down to 7,000 rupees. But if you're using the car for more than 300 days in a year, it kills the purpose of occasional usage. It becomes a car that you're using primarily or for your daily usage. Renting, on the other hand, as I'd mentioned earlier, is only beneficial if you have only one vacation, or occasion that does not exceed 4 to 5 days. Otherwise, this could cost a bomb for you. Co-owning a car is a solution that lies right in between of owning and renting a car. That if you already have a primary car for your daily usage and you need a second car for whatsoever reason, you could be an NRI and you're visiting your country often and you want to use the car in your city, or you're a car enthusiast and you really enjoy driving luxury cars, or you're simply a professional like a lawyer or a doctor or a chartered accountant that's at a very high level and you need to maintain your prestige. Instead of owning, you can co-own a car, or you love taking vacations where you want to experience a convertible, because convertibles are rarely taken to your office place. Use case is more of prestige and status and something that you would use occasionally. So apart from the Cabriolet, also we have other cars like the Land Rover Defender, Mini Cooper, BMW X7, High Cross, XUV 700, the Thar Rocks, and many other cars. So I'll be dropping our website's link in the caption below, www.proratacar.com, where you can go and check out the prices of different cars and their AMC costs and make an informed decision as per your this 2025. Try something new. Thank you.